Um, yeah, basically, I just had like just an interesting start of the day. By interesting, I mean that I just consumed content and didn't go outside, and it's all right. It's not even that deep, but um, yeah, I feel like my mind and thus my life. Hold on, do a slight adjustment. Type shit. Um, yeah, my life and my mind been just a little bit cluttered. Um, that there's just like some loose ends to be tied, and what I mean by that is like little things that I've been meaning to get to and finish, and just move on from for a long time. Like things that have just been kind of things that have been like in the background, just like tasks, little open tabs in my mind, if you will. And like everyone knows when you're browsing and for days you have all these open tabs because like you're leaving things for later or you're in the process of doing things, it doesn't feel very liberating. It feels very like, oh, I have all these things to get to and you don't really get to them. But you also don't feel like you can really start anything new, and it's just this cycle. So I guess yeah, I guess it's just yeah, I watched a YouTube video yesterday, of course, about it. And this guy referred to it as like open loops, that they drain your energy and you need to just close them and finish the task and move on. And he even like quoted this study where apparently, which makes sense, like waiters and waitresses will be able to like um, by using their memory list out way better, way more accurately the orders that they haven't been paid for yet, that haven't been finished. So imagine they're at a restaurant and they'll obviously ask them, even if it's the order that just got paid like 5 minutes ago, they would remember way less accurately what was in that order, what meals, what drinks, blah blah, compared to the ones that haven't been closed or paid for yet. Um, and it just shows how like when that's cleared out, oh, that's paid, and our mind just frees up that space. And it's kind of like with tasks as well. I feel like when you finish them, what this guy was saying basically was that as you finish them, your mind won't be so focused on them. They won't really occupy that much space in your memory. And yeah, you'll feel like you have more space to just get on with your life and just, yeah, feel at peace. Doesn't feel like there's the next thing to do. Or if it does feel like that, that arises, that feeling, that inspiration, or just that need to do something, there aren't all these other background tasks that are kind of just like making your brain all foggy and hazy. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that maybe I just need to, close off these loops. I have the tendency to just start new things and things excite me and I'm like, yes, I'll do this as well and that as well. And it's cool, but finishing things is also very important and just yeah, moving on in that way. So I guess I guess that's what I should probably do. I guess first step is writing them down and then scheduling, getting, but even just saying that, I'm just like, we'll see. Nothing has to be done, but I do notice that this is a thing in my life and like a pattern and a tendency, especially the last few years. And yeah, I guess I'm ready to release this pattern, man. Doesn't really serve me that much. If anything, it does the opposite. And and yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. But yeah, man, I think I'll just meditate a little bit. I feel like that's probably the only solution I have. That or like exercise to sort of, you know how when you wake up, you feel like it's a fresh start. Like even if you wake up and you feel like shit, and you're like, oh, here we go again. At the end of the day, it's a new day, and like your brain is kind of like refreshed. And the momentum of yesterday's day is a little bit like has weakened. So there's a little more freedom to like um, sort of act and perceive your day and prioritize your day on thus your life over time differently than what you did yesterday or in the past. And I feel like maybe one of the only ways to really do that, especially with all the consumption we do now and the sort of dopamine hit loops that we get into at times very early on in the day, whether that's food, whether that's yeah, usually just our phones. More often than not, it's just our phones and consuming content. Um, but yeah, one of the only really ways to at least weaken that momentum during the day, which maybe wouldn't be as good as having a full night's sleep, but still, is probably like a deep meditation, a walk. Walk helps. Um, what else? Exercise, I feel like can help. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna just go meditate a little bit, man. Just connect to that stillness. That maybe when things get a little busy, the way that they've been recently for me, like I said, I add on these new projects or whatever, while I still have some other things that are bugging my brain that need to be finished, and that just exhausts you, like it drains your energy. Thing like you can kind of lose clarity within that, clarity in the sense of like, okay, what's actually important? What do I need to prioritize? Um, when do I need to be just focused on just being and enjoying myself? When do I need to just like quote unquote lock in and finish a task? And everything in between, like where am I heading in life? All this stuff. Um, just choices and priorities basically. Um, kind of lost my train of thought there, but yeah, you lose clarity of that. So I guess the more you focus on stillness and you have those moments of meditation and inquiry and just literally just stillness and like quieting the mind a little bit, which basically just decreases the momentum, the sort of karma, the that's been going on. The better, the more sort of free you will be, the more you'll be able to notice synchronicity and you'll be able to connect to your intuition because, like I said, you remove that fog, that internal fog. And even if it's just for a little bit, but that might be enough for you to then to start declutter the more like mental fog of tasks or the physical fog of like a dirty room or whatever things you need to clear out, whether that's like old clothes, literally throwing out the trash, cleaning your dishes, like showering, trimming your beard, like whatever it is that you need to do to refresh. um yeah, I feel like taking that inside out approach and starting internally with your thoughts and diving into stillness, that's probably the best way to go about it. And then everything kind of grows from that, like a tree from its roots. But you have those like when you're anchored in stillness and that's part of your daily practice and just the way you exist, I mean that influences the rest of your life, everything that you do in the physical, with relationships, with career. So yeah, I guess it's just a little reminder for myself, and just feel like talking, man. And yeah, brother, peace.